everybody, and today we have the amazing Shikhar Naad with us. And the interesting thing about Shikhar is he is carrying this amazing legacy with him, and his grandfather is none other than Ustad Alla Rakha Sahib. His uncle is Ustad Zakir Hussain. His father is Ustad Taufiq Qureshi, and yet Shikhar is carrying forward this unique legacy that was created by his father, which is to play djembe in a particular way, in a particular style, and to incorporate other things like the bongas and the cajon and other world percussions into a sort of an Indian soundscape. Tell us a little bit about that, Shikhar.
Well, namaste everyone. Thank you for having me, Purbayan. And I think, should I hold?
Yeah, I'm holding it.
One of my father's main things has always been to, ever since he shifted to the other side, as he calls it, which is, he was a tabla player, and then he shifted to Western percussions and even the drum set. And one of his main things, which Dadaji told him, was that make sure that whatever you do, मेरा image दिखे, मतलब मैं दिखूँ इसमें से, मैं like my knowledge should be seen.
Where you come from,
exactly. So that got Baba thinking on defining our knowledge of North Indian rhythms, but using a different approach, using a different madhyam of the djembe, of course, and even it then grew to broader perspectives like the drum set and other percussion instruments like you see bongo and cajon. So yeah, the idea is to just keep our identity intact, but have a different form of expression, a newer form of expression.
Right. Yeah, that's well. And the interesting thing is, I'm sure your dad has been asked this question many times: is why the djembe?
Yeah.
And I've heard him answer it, but I want to hear it from you also.
I guess he first thought of certain other. This is a cylindrical instrument, cylindrical shaped, as you can see. So there are a few other instruments in this family, such as the dumbek from Middle East, even the darbuka, which is also from Middle East. So he found that the greatest balance between lows, highs and mids is there existing in this instrument, and it's conducive to accompanying North Indian classical, apart from just soloing North Indian classical music as well. So yeah, that's his concept, and I'm learning the same thing.
So show us a little bit about how the playing technique of the djembe, the original playing technique of the djembe, and how you guys have adopted it, or how your dad has, and you're continuing to propagate that. Yeah.
The word djembe, first of all, is from the Bonobo language of Africa, and the literal meaning of the word is everybody coming together in peace, something for everyone. That's what it literally means, something for everyone. So most of the original...
You guys have made the metaphor real.
Thanks to Baba's efforts, there are many young students of this instrument, and it's easy to learn that way.
Right, yeah.
Originally African rhythms are tribal, and they're based on a whole group of people playing it together. They don't have a sense of meter, or there's no system of tal or anything there.
It's like the Spanish compass also. They have people clapping, and the whole rhythmic.
It's very organic. It's earth based. And that the African people are also like that. They're from the earth directly. So traditional African grooves usually segue between 6/8 and 4/4. This is a typical 6/8 African polyrhythm, and two or three players will usually play different patterns which come together to sound like one. That is what you call a polyrhythm also. So what I'm playing on the bongo would usually be what the second or third player would play on the
djembe itself.
on this. So and my father has basically, one of the most important things he's done is, apart from figuring out a new technique of translating the knowledge of the tabla, he's also figured out a new language. So dha in North Indian tabla is dhe on the djembe, and dhati dhagatina gina is meaning dhati dhagatina gina, which is a common bowl, becomes dhina takat tuntun nana. It's the same.
So it's a whole different language.
Yeah, and he came upon this discovery because many of the earlier students used to forget, who didn't have a background of tabla. उनको याद नहीं रहता था कि अरे क्या सिखाया. So then he learned that tabla language इनसे नहीं हो रहा है, so they need a new language for this specific instrument so they can remember what I'm teaching them.
Otherwise it will turn into I am Groot. Everything will be
I
am Groot.
Everything will become a little. It was getting a little mixed up for students, so he came out with this language. it's an interesting balance. And
so now the setup you have right here is the djembe, the bongo, and the cajon. So this is a proper Afro-Latin setup.
Yeah, of
and
course.
if you had a little Latin kit on the side,
yeah,
that would complete it.
Yeah, and kick and snare would then bring the Western element also. Yeah, but this is bongo and cajon are Latin American, Caribbean instruments, and this is an African instrument. So all these rhythms, all these traditions are very organic and groove based. I mean, our tradition is a lot more complicated. I'm not taking anything away from these traditions, but they're more groove oriented, and while ours is a lot more, ours is a bit of a balance between groove, swing, sound, calculation, all of that comes into play in art.
It's a more of an intellectual.
Yes.
You know,
it's very cerebral.
Yeah, got it. Travesty of intellectual pursuits. So, could you like demonstrate like in a typical solo how you flip from one to the other?
Well, the interesting thing is rather than flipping, I mean,
or how you synthesize, how you put
so
them together.
what I would do is, if I'm playing westernized grooves, there are ways to make them Indian by fitting in a tihai somewhere within that same groove. But tihai is a totally Indian concept. It doesn't exist in the West. So if I'm playing like a normal typical 6/8 Latin groove, now that there is a tihai which you normally are not going to hear if a normal Latin percussionist play this. That before what I was playing is a typical swing of that region, but then there's that's an Indian tihai, which and that is how, that's an interesting way of going about it. I mean, that's something that my father and even people like Ranjit uncle have said, that taking that knowledge but not really translating it literally onto these instruments, keeping their approach and their original identity the same, but using these, figuring out, it's a work in progress for me still, but figuring out ways to incorporate our knowledge and present it in a different way, not make it too apparent, but at the same time
so finding little pockets where you can fit in
it should appear natural. It should not be forced.
Now, is it right that a lot of the African content or a lot of the Afro-Cuban or Afro-Latin content is 6/8s? Definitely the African.
I mean, most of their grooves are 6/8. I mean, at least I'm not aware of any other, like I don't think 7 or 10 beats are really used that much, but a lot of the rhythms, especially in Caribbean music and all, are very abstract also. I mean, in the sense that they have a meter, but you won't be able to sit and give tal.
Right. I'll tell you, for instance, I played with a kora player once, and he had a theme like this going on throughout the performance. I mean, the thing on his kora, and then there was djembe accompaniment with it. So. This is how I interpret it. I kept adding that second Indian line.
Yeah.
Indian.
And this groove is a very typical Afro-Cuban groove. It sounds very similar to our dadra and our garba rhythms and all.
And then when I'm playing the Indian line, you are flipping to.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm just adding a little weight of our Indian thekas into it. But this groove in itself is a Western groove. It's very typical.
So let's hear this. Let's hear this for a couple of minutes. And I'm going to have a go at the African one and let you free a little bit to show us a different few grooves, and then I'll go into the Indian. So
Some
it's,
of the pickups I took were Indian.
yeah,
TIs,
I
and the
observed
group-
that, and that's interesting. And then while I'm so this is how music is made. Is it's interesting while Shikhar doesn't know where I'm going to fit in that Indian line, or I don't know where he's going to. But it's like, you can mix it seamlessly, but you need to have a good understanding of both the forms.
Yes.
And both the grooves. And in your case, you really need to. It has to be a seamless transition from one to the other. It shouldn't sound like two grooves playing side by side.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
So as you said, and you named Ranjit-ji, and I mean there's Trilok-ji, there is
of
your
course.
dad. I mean there's Sivamani-ji.
Yeah.
There is of course your Tau, the great Ustad
Yeah.
Zakir Hussain. These, and I think Zakir Bhai is to a large extent influenced by Latin music a lot.
Oh yes.
There are a lot of things which he has,
Absolutely.
in terms of the groove also.
Yeah.
And it is how these maestros go from one to the other. Or
Yeah.
not even go. You can't even feel that they're going.
That's what. Yeah, that's
said.
what I was saying. That to not make it obvious, it should be natural. It should not look forced or as if like something else is coming. It should like flow.
So correlate the knowledge from one into another.
Yes.
Make the sort of interpret it with the knowledge from one thing to the other. Okay, now tell me something about the production side. Like when you produce, when you put the producer's hat on, and you listen to a song, and then we'll talk about this song that we have done together.
Yes.
Now we know what the song is.
Yeah.
We've revealed it to the viewers. It's called Dil Tere Jaan Di Kasam, and it's composed by a great tabla maestro.
Yeah, I know.
From Pakistan, Ustad Taufiq Sahib. And so tell us about how you think as a producer.
Oh well, I'm very much a beginner in that. I mean, I'm a beginner every way, but when it comes to music production, very much so.
By the way, Shikhar is very humble. Shikhar
No.
He's really got he's got the humble hat.
This is the truth, but that it is quite new to me. But I learned a lot of in terms of music production. I was interning at Ranjit Uncle's studio, Mr. Ranjit Baroji's studio, Nirvana, and a lot of what I know, whatever little bit I know about this side of basically studio work and studio life and music production has come from observing him, seeing him how he goes about his work. So I actually, whenever I receive a song or anything, I have a little bit of a raw way, you could say. I just try to first figure out how to play that entire song on the piano, and then I try and get inspired by whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm listening. Of course, the mood of the song, the vibe of the song. I'm just very much a learner in that at this point. But yeah, it's a very interesting process to me. It's a lot of fun to figure out different colors to.
So tell me something. So I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No.
But when you are listening to a specific song, okay, and are you dictated by the genre of the song, or are you dictated by the mood of the song? So what I'm trying to ask you is basically you are listening to a song which is, say, in a specific the basics, like let's just say the bass is in a particular genre. Let's say hip hop, okay?
Okay.
Right. Now, could you take that direction of take that hip hop and take it into a Paranth sort of direction,
yes.
or would you take it and take it into rap, for instance, which is what we've done, and we could do both equally effectively. But does the genre itself dictate it? Like, would you think, okay, this is hip hop, so we've got to have rap in it, or do you?
I think it depends on what the person whose song it is, what he or she feels like. Of course, it's their song, so what direction they've thought of, and also what direction the music itself is kind of leaning towards. Because I like get inspired, so I feel that the song will itself also tell you where it feels like going.
That's a very you should let the song speak to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you very correctly said that we often as producers work to a brief.
Yes,
and we have to. But then at the same time, if you were given freedom, let's just say that you're given freedom. So my question was, do you let the sound dictate or the genre dictate? Because in the case of classical music,
yes,
we are often told that there is a raga, or there is like this raga has this particular mood. So we choose the rhythmic cycle also accordingly.
Yeah.
If you're going to play dhamar,
yes,
in Sohini, it may not be the best thing.
Yeah.
In classical terms.
Yeah.
But if you were to do like here, you have freedom, right, as a producer to mix things up.
Yeah. I think it's again a question of feel and what works for the person whose song it is, and I think there should be a balance. At least I've been taught that there should be a balance between. all of these factors about what the composer wants, what you feel, what the song itself is telling, what maybe even the audience to which the song is targeted,
what they would like to hear.
What they would like to hear. I think it's striking a perfect balance between all these aspects leads to a nice bit of work.
So we are going to try this one song playing together, but till that time, I would like you to demonstrate something of your own, which is maybe, let's say, you pick up a groove, and then once again, I would love for you to show our viewers how you would go from an Indian idiom into, say, a Latin idiom, or bring in a little bit of 6/8, bit of an Afro kind of motif, and then go back into a Latin idiom, or however you want to take it, but how you would mix these various things up. Classic ending too, like a tihai, and then wow.
The ending was the tihai and followed by the typical bossa nova.
Bossa nova,
And even earlier, what I was doing was a peshkar at the very beginning, which is the traditional, it's the rhythmic ala of North Indian rhythms. And but within the peshkar, I was deliberately playing certain non-Indian, completely Latin grooves just to mix and match. I mean, the beauty of peshkar is that you can pretty much do what you want in it. There is
there are all these empty spaces.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many empty spaces.
You can decorate it.
Usually the lay is much slower. I mean, I took a very quick peshkar, but it's usually in Vilambit, and that gives you a lot of freedom to, at least if you're presenting a solo where you want to show these two sides, then the peshkar is where you have the most amount of freedom to show whatever you feel like. And then later I went into certain grooves. I shifted between 6/8 and 4/4, which is something that happens in Indian in a North Indian solo as well. When tabla players begin the Didi Jati, sometimes they will go 4/4, just
Correct,
one or
correct,
two
correct.
tihais will come in 4/4 just to show. And then I went into a rela, which is the traditional ending of any North Indian rhythmic solo, and the rela was tipped off by typical bossa nova groove.
Yeah, so
at the end.
it's like all there. It's
Yeah.
all there within. No, and the other thing is, a very quick question before we start
Ji.
playing it is: do you think groove is king?
Yeah, I think.
I think
Yeah,
whatever you play,
definitely, yeah.
I mean, from your playing or from the playing of a lot of these names, great names
Yeah.
that you took, I think what triumphs in their playing is that despite the bigger structure,
Yes,
which is
absolutely.
the superstructure, if
Yeah.
you will, where you see the intellectual elements, where you see the calculation and the counting
Yes.
or the rhythmic cycle, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
But with the substructure, the groove is the king. You're constantly
Absolutely.
hearing
Yes,
the
yes,
downbeat and the.
No,
you
that
know,
is
you-
most important, because also what I mean, all said and done, at the end of the day, we as rhythm players are essentially accompanists. No matter what tradition we are in, rhythm is an accompanist always to melody. So as long as our groove is the strongest, I mean, we can. This is what I have been taught, that no matter how amazing a soloist you are, or how quick and all you can play, if you have a very dildar theka and all, that makes you a good. Good. I mean, Ustad Ji is the biggest example. I mean, he can do the most mind-boggling things, whatever he thinks of on the tabla. But his one simple Nadin Dinda
So
is
it's
more
it's
than
actually what he doesn't do,
yeah,
which is as fascinating.
Exactly.
So the way I see it, I don't know if you see it like this, but the way I see it is there is all this space. Okay, that's ultimately it's very empirical.
Yes.
There's space between two beats or two events. It may not be two beats. It may be two cycles, or it may be two beats, or it may be two micro beats,
Yeah.
fraction. So it's space at the end of the day. Now you are given the freedom to fill that in
Yeah.
with a hit on your bongas, or a hit on your right cymbal, or a hi-hat, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's how you identify those pockets and what you leave alone also.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's what
There
it's-
is music in silence
Yep.
as well.
All right, let's get to this little thumri that we'll play, and then we'll go from an Indian. We'll try. But now I'm the accompanist because I'm trying to go with your groove.
My group will try and draw from whatever phrasing you do.
So while I'm tuning, guys, hit the subscribe button and share this video if you like it, as well as the other videos in this series, Mixing the Musical Idiom, and watch out for the song Dil Tere Jaan Di Kasam, which is going to be out very soon on this channel. Oh, okay. See, this is a. You have to do all kinds of things with this instrument before you start playing it. And this is very Indian. क्या बात. ये बात है. So as you guys saw in that laggi, you're actually playing a laggi, and then you went and found a little space somewhere, and you know that space has to be. You don't create that space. Sometimes you do create it, but sometimes it just appears.
Happens.
It appears, and you saw that space and you fitted in a few hits
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
bongas.
because he said laggi, I tried to few traditional laggis which I always played, and one faster non-Indian type which you can also call a laggi.
And then you saw your bongas sitting around, so you were like,
I mean they're there. So.
yeah, so that's how it works. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us. Thank you so much, Shikhar,
Thank you
for enlightening us with this. Certainly,
I just wanted to add that whatever I've said, it's all come from my guru. I mean, I don't have the experience or the knowledge yet to.
well, same here.
To say,
We are just we are living on borrowed experience and borrowed time.
Yes.
And and we are just good at pretending that some of it is ours, but none of it is ours actually.
It's a vast ocean.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
But thanks for enlightening me personally with the thought of how, especially rhythmically speaking, because it's so important. The energy of a song, a lot of the energy of a song comes from the rhythm.
Rhythm drives.
So thanks again, and thanks to the viewers, and stay tuned for
Please
Dil
do
Tere
wait
Jaan Di
for
Kasam.
Dil Tere Jaan Di, yes.